Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey that it looks deceptively simple from the outside, a routine peacekeeping mission on a distant mining planet.
Right.
But we're going to use that mission as a lens to explore one of the most painful, defining failures in the history of the Jedi Order.
That's absolutely right. I mean, our sources today, they're not really about blaster fire, are they? It's much more about these deep psychological cuts.
Exactly.
We're really dissecting this incredibly intricate story of Qui-Gon Jinn, his conflicted, almost rejected apprentice, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and, well, the devastating planned reappearance of Xanatos.
The Padawan who broke Qui-Gon's circle of trust.
And took a piece of the master with him when he left.
This isn't just a simple action story. It's a study in mentorship gone toxic, ego unchecked, and the profound ripple effects of a master's unresolved guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission, as always, is to unpack the source material and show you exactly how a personal history of betrayal, that deep, dark regret, can metastasize.
Right. How it can grow into a massive corporate political crisis that threatens millions of lives.
So the setting is Bandomeer.
Yes, Bandomeer, which is this desolate, gray mining world ruled by corporate interests. Qui-Gon is sent there, ostensibly for peacekeeping.
Ostensibly.
But he learns very quickly he was lured there by Xanatos, who was leveraging the immense power of the Offworld Corporation to orchestrate a planet-scale game of highly personalized revenge.
So we're going to trace the line from a single arrogant decision made years ago on a beautiful, wealthy world, right up to the moment that choice threatens to destroy Bandomeer.
And we'll show how that trauma ultimately forges the complex yet, necessary bond between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Let's get into it.
So we have to begin with Qui-Gon's mindset upon arrival.
Right.
The sources, they're brilliant because they don't just say he's stressed. They immediately plunge us into the specificity of his internal trauma.
It's not abstract.
Not at all. Qui-Gon is plagued by these recurring nightmares the moment he lands on Bandomeer.
And these are highly specific, almost coded experiences. It's not just, typical fear.
Yeah.
He wakes up trapped in this suffocating sensory overload, the metallic smell of being locked in, the pressure of confinement, a deep sense of helplessness.
And he hears these identifiers.
Yes, cryptic identifiers. We get K7 and Core 5, which are locations that he will eventually revisit in the physical world. It's foreshadowing.
Exactly. These aren't generic fears. They are echoes of the past, projecting forward into the future. But the most chilling element is the voice, the ghost of his failure, speaking directly to him. Yes, Qui-Gon, I can do it. I will do it.
Wow.
This is the voice of the Padawan who left him, just taunting him even in his sleep.
And central to this dread is the symbol itself, the broken circle.
Yes.
Qui-Gon recognizes it instantly. It's the central visual representation of his profound failure, a personal scar that, as the sources note, has followed him all over the galaxy.
It signifies the moment his life, his path as a master, was just fractured beyond repair.
We should probably pause here and appreciate the depth of that symbol for a second.
We really should. For a Jedi, the circle is wholeness. It's the force flowing through them, the bond between master and student, the cycle of teaching.
Everything.
So a broken circle represents a breach in that fundamental commitment, a failure to close the loop of instruction and trust.
It confirms his worst internal fear.
That he is incapable of proper mentorship.
And that dread isn't just theoretical. The moment that realization solidifies for Qui-Gon is when he receives that note.
Oh, yeah.
Slipped to him in the docking bay, signed Xanatos, complete with the drawing of the broken circle.
It's a direct physical manifestation of his trauma. It's a taunt that says, I am here and I am control of your past.
The game is on.
The game is active.
Yeah.
And to truly grasp the intensity of this current crisis, we have to look back at the root of the pain.
Xanatos' origin.
His origin and his subsequent betrayal. Qui-Gon found him on Telos, a planet described as immensely wealthy, thanks to brilliant scientific innovation, and it's governed by Xanatos' father, Cryon.
And Qui-Gon admits to a huge, defining mistake right at the beginning.
He does.
Hesitation. He saw Cryon, the powerful governor and wealthiest man on Telos, just devastated as his only son was taken to the temple.
Right.
Qui-Gon remembers questioning Cryon one last time, a moment of profound doubt that he later realized was the Force giving him a warning.
A warning he ignored. He felt a disturbance, but he chose to rationalize it away.
And that choice, made despite the warning, is Qui-Gon's first failure of judgment.
It is. He chose Xanatos partly because the boy had a high aptitude for Jedi skills, but partly perhaps because Qui-Gon saw in the boy's potential a reflection of his own youthful pride.
The sources detail Xanatos' flaws, which, Qui-Gon should have recognized as fatal.
Absolutely.
Xanatos used his privileged Telosian background to impress or maybe intimidate other Padawans, many of whom came from poverty or non-affiliated backgrounds.
He displayed this incredible snobbery, a reliance on material status.
And Qui-Gon's reaction?
He chose to dismiss this behavior as a childish failing that would disappear with time and teaching.
That is just a massive blind spot.
This is where we see the Jedi structure colliding with Qui-Gon's ego.
Yeah.
The vetting process is designed to filter out these attachments.
Right.
Qui-Gon, with his natural confidence and his tendency to trust his own instinct over, the collective wisdom, he believed he could personally excise this greed from Xanatos. He was wrong.
And that childish failing grew into full-blown treachery on Telos.
It did.
As Xanatos matured, he became intensely hungry for the material power Qui-Gon possessed. The Jedi life, no home, no wealth, no measurable political authority. It felt like a deprivation to him.
It felt like a theft of his birthright. The sources show Xanatos fundamentally misunderstood the Jedi path.
Oh, so?
He saw the Force as a tool for power, not transcendence. He felt the Jedi Order was stripping him of the legitimate power base his father had built.
While at the same time, Qui-Gon's brilliance was being corrupted by insatiable greed.
Yes. So, Qui-Gon, as governor, planned this massive resource grab. He intended to sabotage treaty negotiations with a neighboring planet, creating a pretext for war so he could seize their territories and resources.
And Qui-Gon was there as an observer.
He was. And he discovered and exposed the plot to the populace of Telos.
This exposure was the trigger.
The people, furious at their governor's corruption, rose up. This escalated into a civil war, which Xanatos actively joined, but not on the side of peace.
No, he urged his father to fight.
He did. He leveraged Qui-Gon's remaining wealth to hire a private army to crush the rebellion and retain power.
The tragedy reaches its absolute peak during the Civil War.
It does.
Qui-Gon, in the line of duty, confronted Qui-Gon and ended up delivering the killing blow.
And the detail here is just agonizingly specific. The source notes Qui-Gon's lightsaber sliced through Qui-Gon's molten ring as the governor lay dying.
That ring, the symbol of Qui-Gon's wealth and power.
The metal, still glowing hot from the lightsaber hit, was immediately seized by Xanatos.
And here we get the visceral, scarring origin of the symbol.
Right. Xanatos pressed that hot metal, the broken circle ring, to his cheek, branding himself.
It was a self-inflicted scar designed to be a permanent, searing reminder of Qui-Gon's betrayal.
The betrayal of killing his father and removing his chance at material power. He then fled with the treasury, ready to rebuild his power base, far away from the Jedi.
So when Qui-Gon gets that note on Bandomeer, he isn't just dealing with an enemy.
No.
He's facing a foe who weaponizes his deepest moral wound. Qui-Gon understands immediately that Xanatos isn't seeking a simple resolution.
No. His method is defined by elaborate cleverness, and he enjoys concocting these cruel games.
Bandomeer is the arena.
And Qui-Gon's guilt is the key weapon.
That weaponized past leads us directly to the current setting, Bandomeer. And what a miserable setting it is.
Oh, it's awful.
The sources paint a picture of utter environmental devastation. It is a desolate, gray world stripped of many natural resources by decades of unchecked mining.
The sky is perpetually a sheet of dull gray filled with drifting black specks.
It's a perfect landscape for corporate extraction, but it also, it mirrors Qui-Gon's internal state of desolation.
It really does. The planet is defined by transience and nihilism. The residents are overwhelmingly imported workers, temporary contracts, who only care about earning enough to get off planet quickly.
The sources note, just chillingly, that no one truly cared what happened to Bandomeer.
And that lack of care creates the ultimate power vacuum, which is historically filled by the mighty Offworld Corporation.
Offworld, a classic example of an extractive colonial structure. They plunder the resources and leave behind only pollution and debt.
But our sources introduce a crucial resistance movement, the cooperative.
Right, the home planet mine.
Exactly. Native Marians and immigrant Arcanons, two traditionally wary groups, came together to form it.
Yeah.
And the defining element is that profits are shared equally.
So this grassroots cooperative immediately challenges Offworld.
Right, which, as Qui-Gon notes, never took well to those who encroached on its turf.
The very existence of this profitable, equitable venture is an existential threat to the Offworld model. It's exactly the type of political friction Xanatos would exploit.
And he does. But Qui-Gon's initial mission is immediately exposed as a farce.
So?
Well, he was dispatched because the Jedi Temple received an official request for a guardian of peace from the Bandomeer government.
But when Qui-Gon meets Governor Sontag,
She confirms she never sent it,
he's been lured.
with cold certainty. The mission is a trap masquerading as diplomacy, specifically designed by Xanatos to bring Qui-Gon to his killing ground.
And the trap springs immediately at the meeting with the home planet leader.
Yes, with Governor Sontag, Virta, the fiercely dedicated leader of the cooperative, and Clatha, the practical Arconan mind manager.
The meeting is interrupted by the man who orchestrated it all, Xanatos.
And he's a study in calculated charisma. He is handsome, commanding, dressed in this theatrical, shiny black cape. He is giving a performance.
And the sources let us really analyze his rhetorical strategy.
Oh, yeah. He immediately addresses his past, preempting any suspicion. He claims he left the Jedi honorably, admitting he failed to lead that life, which sounds humble.
But then he pivots.
He pivots, blaming the Jedi for his subsequent going astray. He claims his training didn't prepare him for the shock of re-entry into the real galaxy, forcing him to take desperate measures.
It's brilliant. He co-opts the language of corporate ethics and victimhood at the same time.
And he beams sincerity. He successfully gains the immediate trust of Sontag and Virta, who see him as this reformed, powerful corporate leader.
But Qui-Gon sees through it.
Oh, he recognizes the inherent lie, the calculated cleverness behind the remorse.
Xanatos then delivers the bait.
A huge, some 10% of Offworld's profits to the Bandomeer reclamation effort. He frames this as part of a new ethical corporate policy,
Stating Offworld will no longer plunder planets and leave them behind. It's an expensive lie.
but it buys instant goodwill and makes Qui-Gon's distrust look like personal bitterness.
And then the explosion.
Immediately following this grand gesture of goodwill, a massive blast destroys the home planet mine. Virta is just shattered.
The symbolic message is clear. Trust us, or be destroyed.
And the official cause is immediately fabricated. Mechanical failure.
Right. A mix of gases, an inoperative sensor. It points the blame squarely at the home planet mine's maintenance and management, not Offworld's aggression.
Qui-Gon, however, he's already connecting the dots. He recalls the critical detail. The meeting location had been changed at the last minute.
A change that saved their lives.
The original building was obliterated. Xanatos had meticulously planned to kill the home planet leaders and Qui-Gon simultaneously, making the entire thing look like a simple mining accident.
But Xanatos is not done deceiving them.
Not at all. He executes the next phase of his trap by offering Offworld's full resources, money, droids, housing, to help rebuild the mine.
He's trying to buy their trust through sheer overwhelming generosity.
And now, this is where the plot turns from mere corporate acquisition to planetary warfare.
Because of what the explosion uncovered.
Exactly. Virta and Clatha reveal the secret discovery. The explosion, though devastating, blasted deep enough to uncover a vein of ionite.
Which the sources describe as one of the most valuable minerals in the galaxy.
So they must, absolutely must, keep this secret from Offworld.
This single mineral raises the stakes exponentially. Xanatos' initial plan was likely just to dismantle the cooperative and acquire their land.
But now he knows, or he will soon know, that the planet holds a resource of untold value.
Qui-Gon realizes the full scope of the game.
It's a deadly, elaborate, and costly game, where, as Qui-Gon internally notes, games had no rules.
The destruction was just the cost of admission to set the stage for Qui-Gon's death.
So while Qui-Gon is navigating this deadly corporate chess game, Obi-Wan is stuck in the background. And he's facing a personal deadline that feels equally catastrophic. His 13th birthday is only 3 weeks away.
That deadline means everything. If no master chooses him as a Padawan before then, he is permanently assigned to the Agricorps.
Which is not just a career change, it's, in Obi-Wan's eyes, a complete failure of his destiny.
A farmer's fate.
Right. He's trained for years, he saved Qui-Gon's life on the way here, and now he's just relegated to waiting.
We need to analyze Qui-Gon's behavior here because it directly fuels the crisis. Obi-Wan is desperate for reassurance, for validation, for clarity.
But Qui-Gon is locked down. The Master maintains this deliberate, painful distance, keeping a skin of ice around himself.
And the reason, of course, is Xanatos.
Qui-Gon is consumed by the fear of repeating his failure. He sees Obi-Wan's ambition and his occasional flashes of anger.
The exact qualities that had led to Xanatos' undoing.
And he freezes. Qui-Gon fears relying on an apprentice again because he is terrified of exposing a new student to the same emotional or moral dangers he failed to navigate with Xanatos.
This self-imposed isolation is the perfect setup for Xanatos' psychological attack later.
It is, and it also means Obi-Wan is sent to the Eastern Enrichment Zone to help reclaim land with the Agricor.
And the sources just highlight the crushing mundanity of this task.
Obi-Wan's guide, Rantha, speaks in this droning monotone about stem grafts and seed sprouts. For a young, ambitious Padawan eager to save the world, this work is painfully dull.
The contrast is agonizing for him. Qui-Gon is fighting Xanatos, saving a planet, while Obi-Wan is debating the ideal balance of fertilizer.
He feels his chance at knighthood just dissolving in the cold, gray atmosphere.
But this seemingly dull assignment forces Obi-Wan to rely on his own curiosity.
It does. While exploring the dome with his Arconan friend Trimba, they encounter a featureless, seamless metal wall near a pile of fertilizer.
And Obi-Wan, using a moment of focused concentration, places his hand against it, and the Force provides an answer.
He sees just for an instant that his touch caused the metal to turn transparent. He realizes this is a highly concealed, secret annex, hidden away from the main Agricor dome.
Using the rich Force energy of the living organisms in the dome, the very life he was supposed to be tending, he opens the hidden door.
Trimba is initially disappointed, seeing just a storage area.
But Obi-Wan is immediately alert.
Inside, he finds off-world cargo, explicitly labeled with highly sophisticated industrial equipment. Explosives, turbo drills, detonators, tunnel borers, biotic grenades.
This is highly specialized mining equipment, strictly forbidden on protected Agricor land.
Which is supposed to be dedicated only to nonprofit reclamation work. This discovery proves a secret, illicit collaboration between Agricor personnel and Offworld.
But the ultimate link back to Qui-Gon's torment is the physical evidence that proves Xanatos' direct involvement.
The box.
Tucked away is a small, sealed box, bearing no label except a metallic icon serving as a clasp, the unmistakable broken circle.
Obi-Wan, armed with irrefutable proof, frantically tries to contact Qui-Gon via hologram.
He details the specific off-world equipment and the broken circle symbol, convinced this is the key. Qui-Gon needs to expose the entire plot.
And here's the profound missed opportunity, driven by Qui-Gon's trauma. Qui-Gon ignores the broken circle symbol, perhaps actively refusing to confirm that the trauma has followed him even to this protected area.
He dismisses the off-world equipment as merely interesting, nothing more.
He sternly orders Obi-Wan to follow his original dull orders and not take any action on your own.
It's a crushing rejection. Obi-Wan feels his dedication, his resourcefulness, and his desperate attempt to prove himself have been completely invalidated.
Invalidated by a master too scared to trust him.
What Qui-Gon doesn't realize is that while he's dismissing Obi-Wan, his own parallel investigation is confirming the boy's fears.
Right. Qui-Gon later visits the Offworld headquarters, described as a black windowless block, and uses a Force suggestion to gain entry to a restricted level.
He accesses Xanatos' hidden filing system, and the password Qui-Gon uses is a significant instinctual guess.
Trium's name. Xanatos' father.
The file opens, proving Qui-Gon's access, and immediately revealing Xanatos' deepest attachment, his father, and the wealth he represented.
And the icon for the files is crucial. 2 broken, overlapping golden circles. Qui-Gon instantly recognizes these as the initials OC Offworld Corporation.
So he deduces that Xanatos is the person who controls or even founded Offworld.
Preferring stealth and layered deception to openly flaunting his power.
Which means Obi-Wan was right, not only about the equipment, but about the symbolism of the broken circle appearing at the Agricor site.
And Qui-Gon's failure to trust his apprentice's evidence was rooted purely in his own fear.
Now sure of the scale of the threat, Qui-Gon contacts Yoda.
But Yoda's advice, while steeped in wisdom, further complicates Qui-Gon's emotional state. Yoda advises caution. Play along for now.
He notes Xanatos' chief failing is overconfidence, suggesting they wait for him to slip up.
But then Yoda cuts to the core philosophical problem Qui-Gon is experiencing. Why do you leave Obi-Wan in the dark, Qui-Gon?
And Qui-Gon defensively argues he's keeping the boy out of danger.
And Yoda's response is the ultimate rebuke on Jedi mentorship. The apprentice accepts the danger when the master accepts the apprentice.
Wow.
Qui-Gon is trying to protect Obi-Wan from the consequences of Qui-Gon's own past actions. not from external dangers.
The ultimate truth bomb from Yoda is about the Master's desire to rewrite history. Trust is the difference. Easier, you think, to change the past than the future.
Qui-Gon immediately argues you cannot change the past. But Yoda's implication is that Qui-Gon's failure with Xanatos is still dictating his present,
preventing him from fully trusting Obi-Wan and moving forward to forge a new, healthy relationship.
And that lack of trust leaves Obi-Wan exposed.
Yoda's warning is immediately validated by the subsequent disaster. Xanatos, using hidden surveillance, is fully aware of Obi-Wan's curiosity and the discovery of the Annex.
He finds Obi-Wan there and initiates a direct personal attack.
This meeting is a horrifying masterclass in psychological manipulation.
It is. Xanatos introduces himself as Qui-Gon's former apprentice and goes straight for Obi-Wan's emotional jugular, the deepest fear Qui-Gon's emotional distance has created.
He isolates Obi-Wan's exact insecurity.
He keeps a skin of ice around himself, Xanatos states. The more you try to please him, the farther away he goes.
Which echoes Obi-Wan's own pain. It makes Xanatos seem like a sympathetic, knowledgeable older brother who understands the system's flaw.
He then weaponizes Qui-Gon's past. Xanatos claims Qui-Gon broke every promise to him, always offering advancement, but ultimately betraying him by prioritizing duty over personal loyalty.
And he assures Obi-Wan that the same fate awaits him,
fueling the boy's dormant anger and planting deep corrosive doubt about Qui-Gon's character.
Obi-Wan's internal monologue confirms the effectiveness of this tactic. He describes feeling the words come from his own heart and deep anger stirring inside him.
The very ambition and resentment Qui-Gon feared. Xanatos knows Qui-Gon's hesitation is the Jedi Master's weakness, and he exploits Obi-Wan's insecurity as the entry point.
Then, the calculated chaos begins.
Offworld security officers burst in. Xanatos draws his lightsaber, forcing Obi-Wan to fight defensively, making the boy appear guilty and complicit in an act of aggression against the corporation.
Obi-Wan fights cleanly, defensively, unwilling to kill the guards despite the severity of the confrontation.
But Xanatos is swift and intentional. Obi-Wan is eventually struck by an electro-jabber, delivering a blinding pain to his ribs, followed by a smash from behind that knocks him unconscious.
The source is clear. Obi-Wan's capture was not a mistake.
No, it was an engineered component of Xanatos' plan to cause Qui-Gon maximal emotional distress.
Obi-Wan wakes up in a scenario designed for despair. A deep-sea mining platform, far out on the Great Sea of Bandomeer.
The environment is harsh, cold, and profoundly dangerous, a place where many miners did not survive.
He's injured, stripped of his tools, lightsaber and comlink, gone, and fitted with a collar.
He instinctively asks if it's a healing device.
And the response comes in the form of cynical laughter from his cellmate, Gara.
This is our introduction to Gara, a long-armed Findian slave miner who speaks in dark, cynical jokes, always followed by his catchphrase, "I lie, not so."
He explains the horrifying truth. The collar is an electro collar, controlled by transmitters on the mainland, designed to blow you up if Obi-Wan attempts to leave the platform's perimeter.
Gara details their existence. They are 5-year slaves, their contracts forged, and the mortality rate is staggering.
Obi-Wan's first instinct is the Jedi way. Use the Force to override the collar.
But he realizes he is too weak, too injured, and too worn down by the labor and constant fear imposed by the enormous Creel Imbat guards.
He realizes that the aggressive Jedi approach will kill him and jeopardize the other miners.
So he must, reluctantly, adhere to Yoda's earlier abstract advice. He must play along for now.
This internal acceptance of humility and patience is a critical development for Obi-Wan.
The mining itself introduces a crucial technical detail that will save the planet later.
Right.
Obi-Wan is forced to mine the deep sublevels, where the valuable ionite is found. Gara explains the mineral's unique danger. Its neutral charge. It carries neither a positive nor a negative charge, which causes safety instruments, like bad air warnings and timers, to fail.
Which means they often face unannounced backflow, leading to suffocation.
The neutral charge, a geophysical detail, is Xanatos' perfect plot device for quiet sabotage and eventual planetary destruction.
Obi-Wan, however, is determined. He devises a plan to acquire the keys and disable the collars.
He convinces Gara to take him to the explosives room, promising to deactivate the deadly collars. He then executes a small, successful Force trick, bending the mind of an Imbat guard just enough to acquire the electronic keys.
But when they reach the room, Gara shouts. He immediately betrays Obi-Wan to the rushing guards.
He explains himself sadly, echoing the source of his survival. Even though I'm in danger, I would never betray a friend.
So not so, Obi-Wan finishes, understanding the horrifying joke.
Gara cannot trust anyone, which is why he has survived 3 brutal years. He traded Obi-Wan's freedom for his own temporary security.
Obi-Wan is struck again by the electro-jabber and thrown into lockup, sentenced to be thrown overboard to drown the next morning.
Xanatos' revenge plot is now minutes from success.
The moment Qui-Gon receives the news of Obi-Wan's capture, everything shifts.
Everything.
The game of patience, the careful adherence to Yoda's advice, vanishes. Qui-Gon's initial plan to wait for Xanatos to slip up is immediately abandoned.
He's tired of being played. This is Qui-Gon finally choosing the future over the past.
He tracks Obi-Wan with the help of Rontha, the Agricor guide, who finally reveals the kidnapper's destination.
Rontha recalls the specific chilling taunt. Obi-Wan would be seen again in 5 years if he survived.
That confirms the brutal deep-sea mining platform location.
Qui-Gon pushes the Agricor hydrocraft to its absolute limit, racing across the turbulent gray sea, overriding his fear of repeating past mistakes with the instinct of a protector.
He locates the platform just as the guards are preparing to push Obi-Wan off the edge to drown.
Qui-Gon realizes he is almost too late, and his heart contracted with pain. But the sources give us a beautiful moment of redemption here.
A character who Qui-Gon had written off earlier as a cynical survivor steps in.
It's Gara. Qui-Gon focuses his electro-binoculars and sees movement on a lower level. Gara, using a makeshift sling fashioned from a spun carbon tarp, positions himself to catch Obi-Wan.
And Qui-Gon connects with Obi-Wan through the Force, not to command, but to encourage, willing Obi-Wan's body to twist and shift mid-fall to land on the tarp.
This action is layered with meaning. Obi-Wan, despite his despair, is composed enough to actively cooperate with the Force and the chance of survival.
And Gara, the man who lives by distrust, displays a profound act of spontaneous, selfless bravery.
He saves Obi-Wan, forcing Qui-Gon to dock and climb the platform rapidly.
Qui-Gon's immediate priority is the electrocollars. He knows the transmitters are on the distant mainland, but he uses the Force to send neutral energy directly to Obi-Wan's collar's transmitter.
This is an advanced technique, a subtle manipulation of energy.
Obi-Wan touches the collar and confirms the buzzing is gone.
The collar is temporarily neutralized, freeing them from the platform's boundaries, but not physically removed.
The fight that follows is the true genesis of their bond.
It is. Qui-Gon tosses Obi-Wan his recovered lightsaber, and the 2 Jedi move in what the sources call a graceful duet.
Qui-Gon leaps and somersaults, landing behind the Imbats, while Obi-Wan charges confidently from the front.
They're a single, synchronous unit. They advance, retreat, deflecting blaster fire with stunning ease. This coordinated combat is the very first time they truly work as Master and Padawan.
Even before the title is conferred.
They force the brutal guards back, allowing them a moment to acknowledge Gara.
Obi-Wan, despite the risk, assures Gara that his collar will be deactivated for good in an hour via the mainland transmitter controls.
And Gara, having abandoned his lifelong cynicism for this selfless act, offers the ultimate sign of trust. Not so, Obi-Wan. I trust you.
The man who only trusts himself now trusts the young Jedi.
As they race away on the hydrocraft, Qui-Gon knows he had to dismantle the emotional wall between them. Obi-Wan asks directly about Xanatos' claims of betrayal.
Qui-Gon confirms that Xanatos orchestrated the kidnapping for revenge, and then, crucially, delivers the full, unvarnished story of Telos.
This is the critical moment of master accountability that Yoda insisted upon. Qui-Gon openly admits his ego and pride caused him to trust Xanatos blindly, overriding Yoda's gentle warnings. He confesses that Xanatos' betrayal was rooted in Qui-Gon taking away his path to wealth and power when he exposed Cryon.
And he doesn't just focus on Xanatos, he focuses on his own failings.
Yes, he confirms he delivered the killing blow to Cryon in front of his son and watched Xanatos create the broken circle scar.
Yet the admission that resonates most deeply with Obi-Wan is Qui-Gon's ultimate self-reflection.
It's important that you know this, Obi-Wan. Even a Jedi Knight is still a living being with the same failings.
He explicitly moves away from the ideal of untouchable perfection. He teaches Obi-Wan the Jedi ideal is, we are not saints but seekers.
He acknowledges his failure was personal, his need to be right, his inability to see the flaw in Xanatos because he trusted his own judgment too highly.
This admission of vulnerability finally breaks the ice.
It's an act of profound trust from master to student, fulfilling Yoda's decree that acceptance requires mutual vulnerability and shared truth.
The wall is finally down, just in time for the final confrontation.
So the first stop upon reaching Bandomeer isn't the final fight, It's keeping the promise to Gara and the other slaves.
Right.
They arrive at the Offworld security office at the loading dock. Qui-Gon acts decisively, violently, but non-lethally.
He defeats the 3 Imbet guards swiftly, using his lightsaber with calculated precision to scorch their wrists and hands, forcing them to drop their blasters without serious injury.
He immediately destroys the power terminal and acquires the transmitters.
And the moment of true justice. He throws 2 of the transmitters into the sea, permanently ending the slavery contracts of Gara and the other miners.
He uses the third to confirm that Gara is free, fulfilling Obi-Wan's promise and showing the boy the practical application of Jedi ideals.
They then commandeer an off-world security land speeder to return to the city, but Xanatos is waiting.
A speeder bike equipped with heavy laser cannons descends upon them. This confirms the true, murderous intent of the plot.
Qui-Gon's piloting skills are pushed to the limit, relying entirely on the Force to anticipate the blasts.
They are cornered. Their only choice is to dash into the home planet mine entrance, leading them to the area Qui-Gon was warned about.
Qui-Gon instantly recognizes that they are doing exactly what Xanatos wants.
They are playing his game. The objective isn't the mine, it's the confrontation itself.
Qui-Gon uses the Force to guide them to the deepest level, Core 6, hoping to use a damaged secondary lift to escape.
But as they travel deeper, they pass the specific glowing sign from Qui-Gon's nightmares, Core 5.
This is the precise depth that has been haunting him.
This cross-cut tunnel, Virta had claimed, couldn't be reached, confirming it was a meticulously constructed, hidden trap.
Suddenly, Xanatos appears, sealing the tunnel behind them.
He initiates his final test, the ultimate psychological tactic, the blindfold test.
He turns out the lights,
Challenging them to fight only by instinct and the Force, leveraging his past temple knowledge against Qui-Gon.
The darkness is total, the fight is desperate. Qui-Gon relies on instinct to defend them both against Xanatos' swift and cunning lightsaber attacks.
And Xanatos is stronger than before. He's trained specifically for this dark duel.
Obi-Wan realizes his mind is clouded by the residual anger Xanatos stirred earlier.
So he purposefully focuses on drawing on the living Force, clearing his mind. This is Obi-Wan choosing patience and focus over revenge or fear.
This choice solidifies their true bond. Qui-Gon feels Obi-Wan's Force energy suddenly flow into his, their power melding and pulsing in a white heat.
This synchronization is the proof Yoda asked for. Their combined strength drives Xanatos back until he retreats through a transparent wall into a hidden lift tube.
Xanatos, safely escaping upward, announces the ultimate plan.
He claims the mine is set to blow in a powerful gas explosion, intentionally echoing the first accident but claiming it will be far worse. He seals the cross-cut tunnel, ensuring their death.
Trapped, Obi-Wan proposes a horrific, selfless plan.
He suggests reactivating the transmitter on his electro-collar and pressing himself against the seal panel.
The resulting explosion, which he knows will kill him, should open the door and allow Qui-Gon to evacuate the miners above.
Qui-Gon is horrified, shouting, "I will not allow it!"
Obi-Wan, his face tight with determination, echoes the phrase from Qui-Gon's nightmare, but imbues it with heroic resolve.
Yes, Qui-Gon, I can do it. I will do it.
He insists on the sacrifice to prevent Xanatos from winning and destroying the planet.
This moment of selfless sacrifice, mirroring the nightmare, forces Qui-Gon's final, profound breakthrough.
He looks at the sealed panel, noticing the off-world broken circle logo on the locking mechanism.
He realizes the ultimate spiritual meaning of the lock. He must use the Force not to destroy, but to complete.
He must envision the broken circle becoming whole, the past failure meeting the future potential to create the present solution.
Qui-Gon concentrates on the image of the perfect, unbroken circle.
The door slides open.
This realization is Qui-Gon finally letting go of the past's crippling hold, choosing to fully trust in the power of the present moment and the potential of his new partner.
They race out, only to find the real trap.
It wasn't gas.
It was an ion bomb, described as the most destructive explosive in the galaxy, set on a timer. Worse, it's the master control bomb.
Designed to trigger a massive chain reaction with other bombs hidden across Bandomeer, guaranteeing planetary destruction.
The timer is set to 3 minutes. Qui-Gon needs a crucial 15 minutes to safely disarm the master control bomb. They are seconds from disaster.
This is Obi-Wan's moment of redemption and proof of specialized knowledge.
He recalls Gara's warning about the ionite's unique properties. Its neutral charge causes instruments and timers to stop dead.
He races back down the tunnel to the debris pile, grabs the ionite rocks, the mineral discovered by accident only because of the initial explosion, and stacks them around the ion clock.
The digital readout stops immediately.
Obi-Wan delivers the line with a grin. "You've got your 15 minutes, Qui-Gon."
This crucial, overlooked knowledge gained during his dull Agricor mission and his dangerous time as a slave miner saves the planet.
The lowest tech solution defeats the highest tech bomb.
With the planet saved, Qui-Gon must deliver the final, painful failure.
The home planet mine's internal structure was compromised.
He reveals to Sontag and Klatha that Virta, the fiery cooperative leader, was in league with Xanatos.
Virta claims she acted for the good of Bandomeer, believing Offworld would ensure the profitability of the ionite vein she discovered, rather than allowing the cooperative to fail slowly through mismanagement.
It was a compromise with evil, rooted in pragmatism, which Xanatos capitalized on.
But Qui-Gon reveals the horrifying scope of Xanatos' actions, and the true motive that transcends mere profit.
Xanatos was willing to destroy his own immense fortune, the vast ionite vein, the entirety of Offworld's potential wealth, and destroy the whole planet.
His goal was pure, unadulterated revenge.
He orchestrated a scenario where Qui-Gon would die in the most painful way possible. Knowing he had failed to save countless lives and that his personal mistake had annihilated a planet.
This realization finally frees Qui-Gon. He reads Xanatos' final taunt, left stabbed into his sleep couch. "I suppose I underestimated you. I won't next time."
But Qui-Gon states clearly that his anger is gone. Xanatos is gone for me. He is just another enemy now.
The ghost of the past has been exorcised.
And that transformation allows him to turn to Obi-Wan, and he acknowledges the profound shift. He admits Obi-Wan taught him something vital,
How light can always battle dark.
and that his crippling anxiety, his anger, had finally left him.
Qui-Gon then offers the ultimate validation. "I would be honored to accept you as my Padawan, Obi-Wan Kenobi."
This bond is forged in trauma, mutual testing, and shared knowledge.
Qui-Gon affirms that when the Padawan teaches the Master, the partnership is right.
They exchange a look of half challenge, half amusement about Obi-Wan's failed self-sacrifice plan, a silent acknowledgement of their shared history and mutual hard-won trust.
The circle is finally whole. This deep dive provides us with 3 critical insights for you, the learner. First, the extreme danger of allowing past failures to dictate present decisions.
Right.
Qui-Gon's fear of repeating his past almost cost him his future and a planet. You must choose the present, not the past.
Second, the clarity that comes only from letting go of ego and acknowledging one's flaws.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon's admission that Jedi are not saints but seekers is a revolutionary foundation for a healthy partnership.
Rooted in humility rather than pride.
Exactly.
And finally, the power of specialized, often overlooked knowledge. Obi-Wan's seemingly irrelevant, dull work with Agricor and his terrifying time as a slave miner provided the precise, low-tech ionite knowledge that defeated the ultimate high-tech weapon.
The lesson is, never dismiss the knowledge gained from the assignments you despise.
It truly is a story about finding the path forward only after resolving the past.
And that resolution required a willingness from Qui-Gon to become the student, trusting the young man he was so afraid of embracing.
Indeed. And it leaves us with one final, provocative thought buried deep in the source material about Qui-Gon's past failure. When Qui-Gon delivered the killing blow to Cryon, the source specifies that his lightsaber sliced through Cryon's ring, but specifically not his finger.
Why include that detail? Was it included by the original author to suggest a deliberate precision that transcends a mere killing blow?
Right. That even in the moment of necessary violence, Qui-Gon had an immediate, profound regret, aiming to separate the symbol of greed, the ring, from the man.
A micro-decision that ultimately failed, but which highlights the deep emotional cost of that moment for Qui-Gon.
That focus on the symbol of failure before the body fell just underscores the entire narrative's focus on the emotional weight of that past, a weight that Qui-Gon carried until he finally chose trust over regret on Bandomeer.
A powerful ending.
Thank you for joining us for the deep dive.